As we head into the 4th of July, there's going to be a notable police presence that will be amplified throughout the streets of America, specifically on the highways of America, and for good reason. However, what a lot of people are overlooking are the individuals who have been highway patrolling certain men. And these individuals, well, it's no secret if you're in a particular part of YouTube that identifies itself as men who are seeking their own freedom, men who are making their own manifest destiny, and men who are taking the term that I've come up with of going where you're celebrated, not just tolerated. And shout out to all the groups who take that term to heart, such as your SYSBM guys, your EBM guys, etc. Other individuals who refuse to bend the knee to the community. This video is for you. Now, on your trips, especially during this 4th of July weekend, the upcoming extended weekend, I'm going to give you guys some guidance on how to spot a member of the Stargate Patrol. And the Stargate Patrol, I'm going to use the name Stargate as a credit to Kirigakure Jones' statement of finding quality Stargates, but we have to be vigilant and sober enough on this holiday weekend, and every day for that matter, to recognize those who are members of this massive patrol force that we have here on the highway, particularly the information highway known as the internet. There are a lot of individuals who do this, and there are a lot of reasons. There isn't just one unified reason, but a lot of these individuals can identify with more than one of these characteristics. The first one are those who haven't even dated out. Yes, in 2019, we're halfway through 2019, and can you believe that there are individuals who have yet to date outside? In this instance, I'm not just talking about dating outside your race. I'm talking about specifically dating outside the community. And we all know what the community consists of. But we're talking about individuals who the only experience they've had when it comes to romantic interest and loves, or in many cases, the Klingon love, shout out to Obsidian, are your usual scraggle daggles. Push aside white, Asian, Latina girls for a minute. I know, it's a hard thing for SYSBM dude to do. It's all good. I empathize. But these guys, these mediocre Negroes, haven't even had the bite of the apple of a non-ADOS, non-hood ADOS black chick. I'm talking about chicks from the Caribbean, from Latin America, from Wakanda, or even your Becky who just happens to be of African descent. Yes, the cul-de-sac suburban black chick. They even haven't gotten with those chicks. Their options have, for the most part, been you-know-who, Shaniqua and them. And a lot of these individuals, because of the fear of the unknown, tend to make it their mission to push other men to staying on the plantation. And in many cases, a lot of these guys, yeah, they fear the unknown. But a lot of them, along with that fear of the unknown, also fear the field reports. Yes, the multiple field reports of men coming back to male spaces talking about how it is better on the other side. And is it better? Spoiler alert, yes. Now, is it easier? You're going to have to listen to a future video about that. But a lot of these individuals genuinely fear the unknown because of the consequences, whether it's from the dominant society, which don't let these pro-acts and these other individuals fool you. These individuals care more about what the dominant society thinks than they let on. And in many cases, these are the individuals who care the most about what the dominant society thinks about them. Because if they didn't, a lot of them wouldn't be pro-whack. A lot of them wouldn't keep themselves in this mediocre Negro script bubble. But that's another video. We won't even get there. Let's just focus on what we need to talk about today. And also, a lot of these individuals fear the consequences from the community, the backlash from the community, including those in the second category of the Stargate Patrol. Those who screwed up their lives so bad they can't reverse it. Now, I talked about a couple of individuals who fit into this category. Well, I've been talking about them, but you can catch my previous video on where I focus on the others, where a lot of them definitely can't go back and turn the hands of time to the point of fixing their problems. And even if they could, a lot of them just don't want to, because they don't want to be proven wrong about the decisions they made, about being the first generation of African Americans who had true freedom and equality in this country, but did everything in their powers in order to prove those on the other side that they might have had a point. You mediocre Negro, you odors shame me, by the way. This is pathetic. I'm not going to even, I've already roasted you in the last video. As far as those who have screwed up so bad, this doesn't just include the odors. This includes your typical Pookies and Ray Rays, as always just Scraggle Daggles who, for all faults of their own, have screwed their lives up and are now looking for other individuals to join them in their misery. And how can you have individuals joining them in their misery if they know there is an alternative way to the typical script that the community, and some people argue, the dominant society lays out for you? They can't achieve their goals if some of the individuals in the community learn that you don't have to follow the path of mediocrity at best and failure at worst. Now for the third group of individuals who Stargate patrol thinking black men. Those who need a bailout plan for the community. And a lot of these individuals tend to be the most vociferous of the bunch, particularly those who are looking for a beta bucks. Now we know these individuals, and a lot of them tend to be the Scraggle Daggles. And yeah, you have some Pookies, retired Pookies, who are sitting on their couch and are talking a bunch of jibber jabber about, man, y'all need to come back, y'all. Anyway. But the majority of people who fit into this third group are your typical Scraggle Daggles. And they won't say this blatantly, but with the discontent that they show, they might as well be saying, why ain't you come back to the community? Why are you dating Becky and Mylin and Selena and them? You need to come back to take care of my kids and take care of my Pookie, because my Pookie is a real warrior. He's the warrior of the community. He's going to be the one who's going to fight off Bubba and them, even though I may have slept with Bubba and them in the past on Ghetto Gaggers. But we need our Pookies for this war. We need, this is going to be a big war. You know that? And you know what kind of war this is? Nuketown 24/7, 365 on Modern Warfare 4. We're gonna need all Pookies we need for this war. Y'all dig? Yeah, those Daggles, those same Daggles who will tear you down in a minute because you have a triple-digit IQ, as we've seen earlier. Shout out to Game Changer and the bullets that he's been taking. Yes, I'm aware of what the community does. Just because I don't comment on a lot of the stuff, just because I don't try to get the juicy scoop as soon as it comes out, don't think I'm not watching from above. Don't think I'm not watching from real life. Don't think I'm not taking mental notes of what these Daggles are doing. The example of what we've seen earlier, and you can ask Game Changer himself of what he's been through. That is the purest example of these Daggles who are pissed off because who they perceive as a beta bucks is leaving, if not already left, the plantation. And these Daggles are pissed. And instead of taking the right path of lowering their rhetoric to the point in which they may dupe some simps back, they're double, tripling, quadrupling, killing spree, overkill, killtacular, Killtrocity, Killmanjaro, Killtastrophe, Killpocalypse, Killionairing their rhetoric to the point in which these thinking men almost have no other choice, even if they wanted to lie under the Daggle, but to leave. The fourth group of individuals who are patrolling thinking black men on where they go and who they desire are those who can't leave the community, particularly those by force. Now we have to differentiate those by force versus those by choice. We see individuals who can leave the community but decide not to leave the community. Shout out to Obsidian. He, for some reason, and I believe he is a true masochist, but that goes beyond saying, and even he's admitted it, to the point where he will deal with the Daggle as long as he can cook them to the furthest depths of hell. And speaking of which, he would rather roll in hell than chill in heaven. That is my analysis of those who can leave the community, but by will decide not to. But those who can't leave the community because they have nowhere else to go, well, it's simple. These are your mediocre Negroes who know in their heart of hearts that for whatever reason can't leave the community, mainly because they've entrenched themselves in the mediocre Negro script so much. That is who they've become. They are the archetype. They are a walking stereotype. And if they were to rid themselves of it, they wouldn't know what to do. Some of these individuals, I swear, would probably end it all. God forbid they do. Granted, a lot of them wouldn't, because, check this out, a lot of them would just rather live in their own misery than have the balls to escape. And unfortunately, this includes shaming those who try to escape, mainly because they want something better for their own lives. These individuals can also fit in the category of some individuals because a lot of them enjoy the misery loves company dogma that the community practices on a daily basis. For if they can't escape, neither should you. And that especially includes getting someone outside of the community. And the final group of individuals, and I think this is the most obvious group of individuals, and perhaps the leading bunch of individuals of the highway patrol, are those who can't get women outside the community. Now, we have to differentiate once again between those who can't get women outside the community and those who could, but just decide not to. And this is where we have to shout out O'Shea Duke Jackson, who has been in Poland for years, but according to his words, we'll see about that, but according to his words, has not touched one Polish, or for that matter, white chick at all. All he's been doing has been messing with either ADOS chicks or non-ADOS black chicks, and we have the proof. He has the records. Whether it's through trick or swag, he has been able to get his, and as a result, note how O'Shea and Obsidian, for that matter, refuse to be part of the penis patrol, even though all they mess with are sisters. Now, you differentiate those two individuals versus those who can't get with women outside the community because they are incapable of doing so. We all know these individuals who try to masquerade their lack of opportunity as some sort of virtue signaling. These individuals who will yell to the top of their lungs about, oh man, the Scraggle Daggle is Mother Earth. She is a goddess. She is a queen. She ain't done nothing wrong. She didn't do nothing wrong. And yeah, a lot of these Daggles may return and reciprocate the favor of saying he didn't do nothing wrong right after these mediocre Negroes do something wrong and cost them their life. But that's a whole nother subject for another day. But look, these individuals, if you sit with them one-on-one, if you put that mirror in front of their face and really do an appraisal on their life, shout out to C Boogie and Kevin Samuels for that matter, you do an appraisal on these guys, and a majority of these individuals, especially the one within the fifth group, they will have no record of any, and The Rock means any, non-Scraggle Daggle chicks. It is pathetic. As I stated, in 2019, you have individuals who have not tasted anything outside of the hood. And yeah, some individuals are legitimately afraid for some reason because they really think that we're back in the 60s, and you got these odors trying to convince these mediocre Negroes, maybe not, maybe I'm too hard on the first group, but these guys who are scared crapless because they fear that a big mob's going to go after them if they look at a Becky or a Maylin or Selena who isn't the trash of the race. These guys are scared crapless. And you have these olders trying to convince these younger guys or these middle-aged guys that we're going back to Jim Crow. Really? This is what we got now? Really? Is this what's up? Is this what the highway patrol is doing these days? Scare tactics? Scare tactics. Trust me, yeah. Scare tactics, people. Anyway, it's just a small reminder. A good video for my SYSBM dudes, EBM dudes. Go out there, enjoy your long holiday weekend, but make sure you have vigilance and soberness to realize when you are in the vicinity of one of these highway patrol, pro-wax, mediocre Negroes, odors, pookies, daggles, and etc. And even for you guys who date non-ADOS black chicks or non-daggle black chicks from the burbs or with a triple-digit IQ, and shout out to all of the true sisters who give thinking black men a chance when you're young, when you're thin, and before you hit the wall. We all know what the wall is. Shout out to you true sisters. But all parties who are watching this, just keep one eye open for these individuals who, while on the 4th especially, will probably be on double, triple, quadruple overtime, because we all know how much of a life these individuals have. In the meantime, let's enjoy our lives, and everyone else out there, always bet on X.